There is one retailer in America with more locations than any other. Not Walmart, not McDonald's. It's Dollar General, more than 20,000 stores in 47 states, opening new ones at a pace of hundreds per year, in places most companies won't even send a site scout, and here's why it belongs in this series. Every file we've opened so far has been about how American retail was hollowed out. This file is about the company that moved into the hollow. Dollar General doesn't compete with the American Main Street. It inherits it. This is the liquidation files. Open the folder. Start with the strategy because it was set on purpose decades ago and it has never changed. Dollar General began in 1939 as a Kentucky dry goods wholesaler, a father and son named J.L. and Cal Turner, $5,000 each, and opened its first Dollar General store in 1955 with a gimmick borrowed from department store Dollar Days promotions, everything in the store $1 or less. But the genius wasn't the price point, it was the map. Cal Turner deliberately targeted towns with populations under 20,000, communities the big retailers ignored because they were too small to justify a big store's overhead. Where other chains saw nothing worth building, Dollar General saw an uncontested market. That single decision, made in the 1950s, is still the entire company. Now look at how the machine works, because the economics are genuinely brilliant, and everything controversial about Dollar General flows from the same design. A Dollar General store is small, 7,500 to 10,000 square feet, a fraction of a supermarket. It is cheap to build and cheap to rent, often on the edge of town where land costs almost nothing. It carries only about 10,000 items. A supermarket carries several times that, which means Dollar General buys enormous volumes of a short list of products, making it one of the biggest customers of nearly every major consumer brand in the country, with the negotiating leverage that comes with it. And it runs on a skeleton crew, a manager, and a handful of associates. That's the formula. Tiny box, tiny staff, tiny assortment, tiny town. A store like that can turn a profit on a customer base that could not keep a single supermarket alive, which is exactly the point. Dollar General is profitable in places where, by big retail math, no store should exist at all. And in 2007, the machine caught the eye of a name you know from this series, KKR, the private equity firm from our Toys R Us file. KKR and its partners took Dollar General private for $6.9 billion in a leveraged buyout. And here's the twist this series owes you. In the name of honesty, it worked. This is the control case on the private equity side of our files. KKR closed a few hundred underperforming stores, modernized the logistics, sharpened the operation, and took the company public again just 2 years later. Then the 2008 recession hit, millions of Americans traded down, and Dollar General's model turned out to be almost perfectly engineered for a country getting poorer. The buyout that looked badly timed became one of the great private equity turnarounds. Remember this the next time someone tells you this channel thinks every buyout is a crime. The playbook isn't inherently fatal. It's fatal when the owners extract instead of build. KKR built. The difference between this file and the Toys R Us file isn't the firm, it's what the firm did. So that's the machine and the money. Now the part of the file where we follow what the machine does to the places it lands, because this is where Dollar General stops being a business story and becomes an ecosystem story. When a Dollar General opens near a small town's last independent grocery store, the math is merciless. Studies of these communities report that an existing supermarket can lose on the order of 30% of its sales when a dollar store arrives. A rural grocery runs on razor-thin margins. 30% isn't a haircut, it's a death sentence. The dollar store doesn't have to beat the grocer. It just has to skim enough, the paper towels, the cereal, the canned goods, that the grocer's produce case and butcher counter can no longer pay for themselves. The grocery store closes, and now the town's only food retailer is a store that, in its standard format, stocks almost no fresh food at all. Researchers and advocates have a name for what's left, a food desert, and critics argue the chain doesn't just fill food deserts, it manufactures them. Dozens of towns and cities have responded by passing ordinances restricting new dollar stores. The company, for its part, points to the jobs it creates, the low prices it brings, its literacy foundation, and a genuine recent expansion of fresh produce into thousands of its stores. Both things can be true. The store is a lifeline in the places retail abandoned, and one of the reasons the abandonment keeps spreading. There is a detail inside the pricing that belongs in any honest file, because it is the quiet engine of the whole category. The prices are low, but the products are small. That $2 bottle, that cheater-sized package, measured per ounce, dollar store goods frequently cost more than the same brands at a Walmart or a supermarket. The customer is not paying less. The customer is paying less per visit in smaller units because that is what a strained budget can manage this week. Dollar General's low prices are real in the only sense that matters to someone with $11 until Friday and an illusion in every per-unit sense. The business model, at its core, is selling poverty-sized portions at a premium, profitably at enormous scale. And the skeleton crew that makes the store economics work has a public record attached to it. Since 2017, federal safety regulators have proposed more than $26 million in penalties against Dollar General across hundreds of inspections, chronically finding the same hazards over and over. Blocked fire exits, merchandise stacked in aisles, fire extinguishers buried behind stock. It got the company designated a severe violator, and in 2024, Dollar General agreed to a $12 million settlement with unprecedented terms, third-party safety audits across all 20,000-plus stores, a 48-hour window to fix violations, and fines of up to $500,000 for missing the deadline. In late 2025, a separate $15 million settlement resolved claims that shelf prices did not match what customers were charged at the register, documented across multiple states. And the people running those stores, researchers at Harvard's Shift Project found 92% of Dollar General's workforce earning under $15 an hour, the lowest rate among 66 large service sector employers they surveyed. The tiny staff, tiny cost model isn't a side effect of the machine. It is the machine, and the blocked fire exits, the mispriced shelves, and the poverty wages are what the machine looks like from the inside. So let's close the file by putting it on the shelf where it belongs, because Dollar General completes this series picture in a way no collapse story could. Go back through our files. Sears anchored the towns. Kmart discounted for them. Payless shod them. Toys R Us toyed them. One by one, the extraction economy we've documented, the sale leasebacks, the buyout debt, the dividend recaps, emptied those buildings out. And what grew in the clearing? 20,000 small yellow and black boxes, purpose-built for the economics of what remained. Smaller towns, thinner wallets, shorter horizons. Dollar General isn't an aberration in the story this channel tells. It's the conclusion. It is what retail looks like after the liquidation, the general store of the hollowed-out map, profitable precisely because it never expects the places it serves to get richer. The company's founders saw it plainly, decades ago, in the strategy that built all of this. Serve the customers everyone else walks away from. Whether Dollar General is the reward those towns get, or the receipt for what was taken from them, that depends on which end of the register you're standing on. If you want more files like this one, the companies you grew up with, the deals that quietly hollowed them out, and the businesses built on what was left, that's what we do here at the Liquidation Files. The next file is already open. I'll see you in that one.